Welcome to the podcast where relationships, confidence, and determination all converge into an amazing, heartfelt experience. This is Speaking from the Heart.
Welcome back to episode number 93 of Speaking from the Heart. Now, I'm going to make the episode today really short because I have so much I have to get done. I'm even wasting time just saying really, and even saying it even again. There's just so many things I have in my mind, not only things that I have to do, problems that I have to solve, ideas that I want to write down before I forget. How am I going to handle all these different types of things happening in my life right now so that I can get them even more organized and even get them efficiently done? I am drowning over here, listeners. But are you also drowning too? Today's episode is to help us to not just get organized and get prepared for the unlimited amount of things that we have on our to-do list, but especially in this season of spring cleaning that we're going to be embarking on pretty soon, it might be a good opportunity for us to review how we can be more efficient in the ways in which we can organize our days, let alone our weeks and months that lie ahead. I am going to even put a disclaimer on this episode by saying that it is very tough for me, even this person that is speaking to you today about some of these techniques that I'm going to cover, to be able to be consistent. But that is me being able to fulfill my pledge to you, being part of Speaking from the Heart, that we all go through these different types of struggles in our lives. So don't be ashamed or even be pressured to think that even if you don't have all these things that you have going on organized, it is still a worthwhile exercise for you to maybe take some time on today's episode to listen to some ideas that I might have to help you get better organized. Even if you have a system in place already, maybe you can be even more efficient with the system that you are using and be able to utilize the maximization of your time to become better at what you're doing. This episode, dealing with all kinds of problems, stressors, and even solutions and attempts to address those problems and stressors, might be effective, not effective, or might fall somewhere in the middle. All I ask you to do is try to give yourself a little bit of grace and a little bit of opportunity here to explore and evolve with this conversation that we're about to have. Now, with all these things said, we have so many different things that are going on in our lives that not only help us to understand and create that best opportunity that we can expand upon, not only to help us be able to explore the vast new worlds that we have, but just being able to understand why we can't get ourselves organized despite the numerous amount of opportunity that exists in this world, we might be able to organize the way in which we're effectively addressing them. Technology nowadays, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence in the last few years, has certainly helped to expand our vocabulary of not only understanding how AI can help us grow, but also help us achieve many of the dreams and aspirations that might have been out of reach because we simply didn't have time. COVID was a big example of many of the different types of goals and aspirations that we were putting off for so long, but then we're able to reinvent ourselves because of that pandemic. Even if people are stressed and freaked out about the COVID pandemic, that nasty thing that happened across the world changed our lives forever, it actually opened up some new doors to potential possibilities of exploring how to be more effective with the time management that we need to have. Technology and even new world techniques that we are going to talk about can be combined to help you stay on task. One of the coolest things that maybe you didn't even hear about in the news is the ability now in ChatGPT, the precursor of OpenAI's technological advancement in the AI world, is to be able to create your own scripts, your own set of tasks and responsibilities, and your own program that would allow you to keep track of a variety of different things, whether that is writing code, maybe that is writing a to-do list for your grocery shopping, maybe it's even programming it to remind you of the various deadlines and responsibilities that you have on a particular project. Regardless of what it is, ChatGPT has come a long way from its heydays of being able to just simply respond to a command prompt that is put in by the user and be able to go into a vast world of different possibilities. But even with all those bugs and all those enhancements, there are still some things as human beings that we can do. One of the biggest things that I have shared with my clients in recent times is the ability to perform what's called the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro is a task-oriented process in which you're able to work on various types of speed dating opportunities that might exist in your to-do list, but require you to have short, focused bursts of time to be able to do that. This really works a lot with not only studying for exams, researching blog posts, maybe even getting that grocery list prepared and organized. It actually helps us to stay focused and mentally fresh with a variety of different tasks that you might have to accomplish in a given time. The Pomodoro technique has 5 different steps that can help you addressing those multiple problems that you have. This first step is just to pick one of those tasks that you have on your list. Step 2 is to set a 25-minute timer, whether that is on your watch or even your cell phone. And step 3 is to work on that task within that 25-minute period until time is up. Once you're done with that step, step 4 is to give yourself a 5-minute break to be able to stretch, refocus, and concentrate again. Because in step 5, if you will perform the Pomodoro every 4 times, taking a longer 15 to 30-minute break. These consistent opportunities that present themselves in these 5 steps using the Pomodoro technique can help you to not only create time management techniques to help you focus on certain ideas, but to help you organize and deep dive into a particular problem without losing focus, without even sacrificing the clarity that might be involved. It will take some stamina and time for you to rebuild and regain that clarity, to be able to have that focus and that opportunity to write something of that nature. It could be as simple as even doing your gardening. Even if you're getting ready to plant the beds that will be the foundation for your garden for this season, you can use this technique to be able to work on each section. It's all about, as I've even said in previous episodes when we're talking about goal setting, making them small, actionable, bite-sized sections so that you're able to create those opportunities to be able to make progress. Now, if you're not one of those people that likes to do short, focused bursts of time, another technique that might be of use to you is to use the Kanban. Kanban is how it's spelled, and it's really another productivity tool in which you use Post-it notes to help organize your system of not only the things that you need to do, but to be able to visualize your work and be able to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish in a certain amount of time. Now, although time is not really a factor in this type of productivity task, you can use the 3 columns that are vertical in nature to help start organizing and compiling what is really, at the end of the day, what you're trying to achieve. The backlog or to-do would be one column. The doing would be another column. And the third column would be done. By seeing and organizing some of the smallest tasks in the to-do or doing columns, when you move those over to done, that momentum, that encouragement of knowing that you're getting things done will help you to realize the strength of being able to capitalize on those opportunities of visualization and creating that workspace for yourself so that you can walk away and come back to moving more Post-it notes from the to-do or doing over to the done. This prioritization will also allow you to focus on some of the bigger things that might require a little bit more time once you get some momentum of getting the small things done. I know for myself and my business, one of the first things that I always do when I come in the morning is check my emails, organize any accounting or bills that I have to pay, and also follow up with any clients or any other communication that I have going on that particular day. Now, that normal routine might not always flow consistently depending on what the type of day is, along with the responsibilities that I have in that given day. But this technique has allowed me to build momentum consistently to be able to work on bigger things, such as even having clients come in to meet with me, whether that's in person or virtually, or even working on the podcast, recording new episodes, and even recording the content to add on to the guests that appear on my show in order to have the final edits. having serious expectations of what you want to accomplish, let alone realistic accomplishments, which we often have talked about in the framework of SMART goals, can help you with having something like a Kanban organize your thoughts and your processes all together. Now, with all that said, we've talked about the things that are already existing. You might be asking yourself, Josh, what about all these ideas that I have in my head? How do I get them organized and so that I'm able to address what I need to do first? Think about the fact that ideas are exactly what they are. Ideas. They're simply a brainstorming technique in itself that allows you to think about what are some possible ways that you can minimize or even grow the amount of impact that you have on certain things that you're trying to do. Whether that is thinking about new ways that you want to write a book. I know for me, I am thinking about writing a book myself, although I'm not quite there yet in terms of really the brainstorming process and just figuring out what's really involved and what would be a great book to write, especially for listeners like you that would be able to purchase. But another thing that I often think about with idea organization is crossing out what ideas are really off the table. Ideas in themselves are great to work on. Whether we have all these multiple ideas or problems that we need to solve, we have to focus on what the immediate nature of them are. That means that we have to look at, in the bigger scheme of things, how they fit into the bigger jigsaw puzzle of life and what they are able to provide, not just for our own benefit, but also in the ways in which we're able to contribute to the people that we need to serve, whether they are, in my case, clients, other work responsibilities, or just having personal attention to the things that I really want to personally enjoy for that self-care, work-life balance. Finding ways, whether they are personal or professional in nature, allows you to retool those opportunities, especially with ideas that you're crossing out, to focus on the things that you know that you have more time for and be able to understand that even if you don't have that time right now, you will have that time down the road when it becomes more appropriate. Now, all these things, Kanbans, using the Pomodoro, trying to figure out what sort of stressors exist in your life, those can be all overwhelming. For many of us, sometimes with those that have a brain style that are not able to think in an executive level to organize administratively the different things that we have to do on a daily basis, requires the input of someone else, requires us to lean on others that might be able to help assist us on the bigger scheme, the bigger ideas that often flow in our lives. I often think about this in even public speaking for that matter, which for many of you, you know that public speaking is an important tool in my toolbox to help not only communicating our message, but also leading from a position that we're able to effectively make change. Storytelling in itself has that nature of the Pomodoro and Kanban built into it because you're putting together jigsaw pieces that will allow your audience to resonate with you being a speaker. Tasks become ideas or details that frame into the work of not only the general purpose of your speech, but even the specific purpose. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen? Everything is interconnected. It's really not just simple, but at its basic level, all interconnected for us to become better human beings and being more efficient with the time that we have in a given day. We all have finite amount of time on this earth, and we all know that we have 24 hours in a day and we have 7 days in a week. The number of days per year change depending on whether we have a leap year involved, but the same principle applies with the standard number of days that we all have to be able to work on the things that we need to address. The priority that we give attention to, or the things that we're willing to work on, don't necessarily come from not only the motivation that we have inside of ourselves, but also the extrinsic and intrinsic influences combined. What do I mean by that? Simple. The things that we really love doing, we will do first. And the things that we absolutely hate, we will do last. But what if we do the things that we hate first and the things that we love last instead? Essentially, making it go in reverse. Retooling your opportunities to address some of the things that even I have mentioned today, whether you use AI, whether you use some sort of other programming tool that's available for purchase online, which there are plenty of productivity tools that will help you organize if you look closely. But even using just a simple calendar method can help you to start moving in the right direction. If you don't know what to do first, you can always look for someone's input and advice, especially if you're looking at what they can potentially provide. Which is why I always say to you, look for a coach that fits your mold, fits the needs that you're trying to achieve. Because that might help you address not only the problems that you have, not only organize the ideas that you have, but allows you to understand what you should do first, not only to resolve all those things, but to tackle the things in a new way. Not only to become more efficient, but even more considerate of what you have left to give in a certain day. Because I want to see you do not just the best things for yourself, but also to help yourself become much better in not only the things that you want to achieve, but the things that you are already doing that are so awesome in its own nature. Get yourself organized, not only with the problems and the ideas, and trust me, oh, trust me, you won't be running around feeling like you are just all over the place. And you'll be able to focus on things that you really, truly, deeply care about instead. Thanks for listening to episode number 93 of Speaking from the Heart. And I look forward to hearing from your heart very soon.
Thanks for listening. For more information about our podcast and future shows, search for Speaking from the Heart to subscribe and be notified wherever you listen to your podcasts. Visit us at www.yourspeakingvoice.biz for more information about potential services that can help you create the best version of yourself. See you next time.